Good morning class, welcome back. We are in the chapter number 14 and we have come to the end of the chapter. Just two more topics to go on and we have come to the end of the syllabus even for the first term. The topic that I will be covering today is what is a drought? What is a drought? What are the factors which affect an area, or what are the reasons why a drought takes place, and what are its ill effects? What are its ill effects or negative effects of drought? The three topics that we are going to cover today: drought, that is the what is drought or meaning of drought; factors affecting drought, which are the factors which are responsible for the drought occurrence; and the ill effects, that is the negative effect of drought. Just in the last video, I gave you the meaning of, or a small clue of, what is a drought. In a very layman's term, a drought means an area that does not receive rainfall, or where there is a less amount of rain, which goes dry due to certain reasons, due to certain causes. That area is termed to be as drought, which has a negative effect on the climate, the environment, and the crops and the species which rely near to that particular area. So we'll begin with, I'll just put a small recap on what is drought. Drought may be defined as a period of usually prolonged and dry weather in such area where rain is otherwise normally expected. Means expectations are high for the rain, but there is a very small or a less amount of rain is seen over that particular place. A place which lacks good amount of rainfall is basically referred as a drought area. The very word drought brings to our mind a picture of scarcity of water, food, and unemployment. These are the causes, these are the reasons. When there is a less of amount of water, when there is scarcity of water, it will lead to unemployment, it will lead to lack of food, it will lead to lack of motivation to read. So water is an important element for the survival of human beings and animals. So what are the factors affecting the occurrence of drought, or why does drought occur? The questions may be asked. Mention some regions or express some regions. Why does a drought take place, or what are the factors which affect the drought, or what are the regions for the occurrence of drought? The first one is, there are many factors, out of which the first one is, the first and the foremost cause of drought is the prolonged scarcity of rainfall due to scarcity of water, fodder, and unemployment develops drastically. There is a drastic scarcity of water. The water level has gone down, there is no rainfall, and that particular area is lacking the development which could have been possible if there was sufficient amount of water. The second is deforestation, or cutting down of trees indiscriminately not only affects rainfall but also allows the rainwater to run fast into rivers and the seas. Deforestation is the another major cause. That is, when we cut down the trees, what happens? Whenever rain takes place or whenever rain falls, the water does not get absorbed on the land. Rather, it directly moves to the sea or to the oceans or to the ponds or to the rivers. So there is no absorbance from the land side. That is what it goes on barren. It becomes barren because the soil has not absorbed any amount of water. When there is plenty amount of tree, when there is a good amount of tree, it keeps on absorbing the rainfall which falls directly on the earth. The third is excessive use of groundwater or surface water results in drought conditions. Excessive use, that is, excessive means that you are wasting the water which could have been very fruitful for the general masses, but that has been wasted or that has been not used properly. The fourth is, it is also pointed out that global warming has begun to produce drought conditions. Global warming is another major cause. In the last chapter we saw what is global warming. It is a general rise in the temperature due to uncertain activity of human beings in the species. This is the drought is another uncertain activity which we are performing. As a result, there is less of water or there is a scarcity of water in the atmosphere. Fifth is, too much pressure on the land for feeding the increasing population has destroyed the soil cover, causing severe desertification of the land. See, overpopulation is another major cause. The population dependent on a particular land is overly populated now. Means a piece of land which could be sufficient enough for 5 people is serving the needs for the 7 people. So those 2 people who are extra, who are surplus, are being a burden on the land, and as a result, the fertility of the land goes on decreasing every now and then. The third topic is, and the last one for the today, is ill effects or the negative effects of drought. What are the negative effects of drought? It has an adverse effect on the atmosphere, on the species of the planet. The first one is, of all the sections of the society, drought affect the farmers most because they are in the utmost need of water. They actually require the water for the crop production. So they are the one who suffers a lot. They adversely affect their crops and their animal stock due to lack of food. There is no food crop production there. Their earnings suffer, their income suffer, and their cattle or their livestock even suffer. Second is, droughts lead to reduction in agricultural production, as a result of which the poor sections of the society suffer the most. When there is less of agricultural production, people will not have sufficient amount of food to feed on or good amount of crop production to fulfill the needs of the current generation or the current population. So there is a chances of a scarcity of food which may create a havoc in the society, in the environment of the world, which will further lead to degradation of quality of life. People may starve, people may go on starvation. That is due to lack of food. They are not given sufficient amount of food. They may not have a potential growth. They may not have a sufficient growth of the body. And inactive mind cannot produce an active result. The third is, those people who depend on animal husbandry have to suffer a lot because of the scarcity of food and water for the animal stock. Now, people who are dependent on the animals or the livestock for their earnings, they suffer a lot during the time of drought or when there is a less of food production due to scarcity of water. Scarcity of water creates a bigger problem for an overpopulated country like ours. Fourth is, as a result of drought, the agricultural activities almost come to a halt, as a result of which many farm laborers are rendered unemployed. See, unemployment is another major issue when the area goes in a drought or when there is less amount of water, less scarcity of water or less rainfall is there, then no crop production takes place. That means the laborers or the farmers are not employed. They basically become disguised unemployed or unemployed for a certain period of time. That is due to lack of water. The water is not sufficient enough to produce the crop production. And the last one is, drought lead dislocation of people. Many of them have to leave their home and else to save their life. Such experience is really very hard rendering. Now, people cannot survive if they are not given a particular condition, a particular environment. Rather, they put that particular place and shift on to that place which has all the sufficient needs which the generation requires. So, when people migrate into such regions due to lack of water, due to lack of food, it is a heartbreaking moment for the population, for the government, for the country people. So, somewhere down the line, the nature goes against your wish if you do not obey the nature's policy that you should not waste the water at any cost. All the free gifts of nature should be respected with due respect. So I shall keep it till here. Tomorrow see floods. what are floods and what are the causes of floods. Tomorrow we shall end up with the syllabus, and day after I'll give you the question answer. Thank you, class.